Alright peeps, welcome back to Under Pressure. Not only do I have a brand new tunnel that's ready to get filled up in this episode, we also have some fancy new levee textures. Look at these bad lads. They're like logs all stacked up and all together in that proper watertight numbers. Now looking at these sexy new levees here has reminded me that I need to do something about this hour here. I want to get this hole all evaporated up. And I've went ahead and built bloody levees here. When I could, thanks to a very clever comment, just pop them here. So let me delete these levees. And get your asses down here to build this. Now of course, I wasn't nowhere near quick enough to stop it getting filled with bad water this cycle. Speaking of bad water, this battery is going to be whooshing up now. Thanks to not only all of our bloody wind turbines there on the windy hill. Completely original name. We've got the bloody water wheels spinning and all. We've got unlimited power here. By unlimited, I of course mean loads and loads and loads. Oh, and I haven't even been bloody looking to check. Look at this. The water is most certainly flowing from this direction all the way through here and filling up our bloody kidney bean. I wonder if the water's even got to pressurising up here. Or if it looks like it has, purely because it's fell down. Either way, I'm just bloody happy to keep the water nice and blue in our tatty pit. V2. Oh, I tell you what, I absolutely love that. It's so good. The tunnel's working flawlessly. And of course, with batteries all the way up the tippity top. But before we get too far into this episode, let me set out, for once, some episode goals. We're of course going to be filling the kidney bean reservoir all the way up to the tippity top for the very first time during this episode. It's an absolute momentous occasion. We're going to be getting some dirt skeepity booped up here, aka finishing the windy hill. And we've already touched on that we're going to be finally starting to get out of the bad water out of here. Because there's bloody lots of it and I want it filled with good water. But we are also going to be sending our beavers on a grand expedition across the bad water fields, across the old pine plantation, all the way down to the corner of the map here. Because they've got some very important graft to be doing here. Namely, popping some levees in. Because those two levees there, as well as two perfectly placed sluices down here, set to close above downstream depth 8.5. And just for shits and gigs, set to close above contamination percent 0. All of this in tandem is going to make this area lovely and green once again. And we're going to need it to be lovely and green. Because up on the hilltop here, we're going to be popping in a basic bitch district centre with only one door to speak of. Now that is very unfortunate, but the 4-way district centre mod is a big crash fest right now. Now I did leave some wood down here for the beavers that are going to move down here into our little corner estate, but there's absolutely no food whatsoever. And let's just say we have food to spare. So why don't I go ahead and unlock the large warehouse? I say we pop it in there and that gives a reason why the path can's ruined it. And that is going to be grilled tatties. Now since I'm feeling degenerous and all that, let me get as much dirt as I can out here so I can go back into storage and plonk down a little hour hang deed heavy water tank. Because there's no better than having most of your water hanging off the edge of some dirt. And that's something that the beavers can contemplate about while they're overhanging themselves. We're gonna I didn't notice while the drought coming! But apparently, we've got ourselves a 21-day drought. Not incoming, but bloody here. So ye can get paused first and foremost. And I suppose since we're in a long drought here, we could get the grill top hillers doing summit. If we connect this bit of path that we've got going on over here, they can now access all of these levees. And they've got plenty of logs. So yeah, now beavers, or more accurately, beaver. Hang on, did I see a second beaver hop in there? Aha, beavers! You just need to get in there and get properly building this bad lad. Oh, and how did we get with the reservoir? It's not all the way up, is it? You know what though? I think that's nigh on the highest we've had it over here. And that was quite a short temperate season. I'm very happy with our mad tunnel. Now another crazy idea I have during this drought involves our water source, which is nibbling about down this hole here. If we turn off the water, we can see them down there. So these bad lads, of course, whenever we have a bad tide, they become a bloody nightmare. So I'm thinking, Reed, can I plop some hour hangs over the top, follow that up with some impermeable flowers, and say, Beavers, smash that in? Because with this in, we're just going to have this tiny little compartment of bad water, pressurised, but we've done tests, and unless things have changed rather significantly for update 1.0, extra pressure does not equal extra volume. So we shouldn't contaminate our lovely clean water here very much. And we've usually got a wee bit of contamination knocking about here and there. Oh yeah, and to do that, we're going to demolish these natural dams. I've got a path coming out. It goes all the way around, the stairs and everything. The only thing we need to do to get it connected is say, ye be gone. And then once these 11 babbies grow up, oh, then mad absolute numpty cocked of old age. How they got to old age, I will never know. As I was saying, once we get these 11 babbies up and running, we'll be able to build that in no time at all. Now I am tempted to do a little summit over here, therefore, no more replant the oak in the corner. And we'll get back to that in about 10-ish days, if I remember. Alright, grill top hillers of the temporary variety, how are yous doing over here? Ooh, not bad. Yous have already got bloody one levy in. And that's just the two of yous knocking about. Now, it's unnecessarily expensive, but I'm going to blow up these 2 bits of dirt at a maximum priority. You know what, peeps? I feel like yeeting this drought out the window. So why didn't we have ourselves a fancy fade to the temperate season? And now that we're back, you may notice I popped in a wee water slurper because we had 0 water over here. Surprise to nobody. I know. Now, if nothing else, this water level here looks a tad higher than it was at the beginning of the episode. And what we can also do is not miss the moment when the water splooshes on through our mad tunnel here. And there it goes, sploshing its way in, making the kidney bean once again. Now, how else did our beavers crack along here? I love this little hoosing estate overlooking the farm, like, and the one hoose on the corner. I do believe we're going to have more of those laddies, because I don't think we've got any builders. None at all. Therefore, I am not expecting Windy Hill to be up and running, but there are a couple of more windmills here and there. Still got our box of rocks up the top, though. That's now it's a matter. Oh, and we started plopping some things in. Any sluices? Nee, sluices. I was about to say, if the levees are in, and the sluices were in, we could have demolished some levees, but not yet. You know what? Maximum priority, beavers. Get those in. Oh, yeah, nah. Maybe those as well. Oh, and here's what happens when the bad water awash spills into a little kidney bean reservoir. It simply dilutes into nothingness. And look, we definitely have water hissing through that tunnel. Even though, by now, we definitely have pressure coming out of here as well, which you can clearly see. I love that the kidney bean reservoir is just getting bloody squooshed in with water from 2 sides, like. Thankfully, not 3, because that would make it a bad water kidney bean. I'm over here trying to figure out why we got 8 planks and we got 100 logs. Have a look at this, peeps. There's bloody 0 logs sitting in here and it's prioritised by haulers. Well, to me, that says we need a lot more beavers knocking about. Ooh, and we can get some bloody planks back from here, because we certainly don't need them up. And since this tree's been chopped down here, and no, me tense was correct, the tree had been chopped down. I wasn't talking about the pine, I was talking about the oak back here. We can pop a fancy pants spiral stair in there, keeping things simple and civil, while not covering up the old fire pit here, plopping in another triple lodge. But how do we get up to the triple lodge, I hear you asking? By spending 1,000 science points on a 3x3 metal platform? Now let me unveil the fancy pants hoosing estate up here. It is beautiful! We even have some shrubs beside the stairs there. And we may or may not have another drought inbound. I don't know how I'm going to make this one speed by, like. Oh, and this is a canny little feature. This automatically floods and frees up a workplace when it gets up to the little 1 level there. I like that. I mean, we should be full on water now anyway. Are there our boots? So we can tick along nicely, and it won't automatically unpause until the water level gets down, which is probably, hopefully, when we get down to the bloody dregs of wood barrels here. But for now, I see that we've got maple on the crack, and I would say that requires a tapper shack. Oh, actually, I do believe, if I'm a bit cheeky with this, and this area requires a redesign anyway, so let's get amongst doing that. And there we have, once it's built, our new and improved Sparrow Duck Farm. Once we replace these with something a bit more farmer friendly, of course. Well, and, you know, build all the dirt that we haven't started excavating yet. Oh, and yes, before I forget completely with all of this here, we need to plonk some dirt on there. From the speedy up bit we done in the last episode, this bit of dirt here should be enough to stop the bad water going down the hole, and maybe a tad more importantly, through this tunnel here into the kidney bean reservoir, which is filling up nicely. We may get close to overspilling again before the drought rolls in. Oh, and yes, regarding actual proper affordable housing, we're going to delete all of this here. You know what? Ye get gone and I'll find a better use for you. Well then, guess who deleted the big old hour hang? No! This beaver just died of absolute shock at the wasted 25% resources of that 6-long hour hang. I'm on the verge of corking it now after doing that. For the first time in a long time, I'm bloody tempted to load an autosave, but I won't. I'll live and stand by me mistakes. Alright, before I get distracted again, let me pop a tapper shack up here that our beavers can build with all of the resources necessary. And then, regardless of who's controlling the tapper shack, we can finally start harvesting this lovely, lovely maple syrup that's not going to boot on these trees. Oh, and you know, so I kind of forgot about the whole affordable side of that housing. We're using fancy pants 6-long overhangs everywhere, but we'll be able to cram more beavers in, and that's all that matters. And with 23 homeless beavers, I want to get these in real quick. Look at this poor beaver here. They get back from work just to find out that there's a new drought in town. Just a wee 16 deer though, now to worry about. And I'm just having myself a little think here. You could potentially call it a little cheese, but I prefer to call it a little thing. See, we so very desperately need planks and metal blocks over here in the old grill top hill. Well, I mean, the hilltop grillers are still got to smash them in, but the Tatty Pit V2ers will supply all of the resources. Oh, we got a little bit closer during that drought. We're almost touching this bit of wood here. Oh, and I've just figured out how we can get through this drought in the blink of an eye with a real casual jump cut, so I can show you that these mad little warehouses worked tickety-boo. 20 metal blocks and 20 planks were sitting there for the beavers to plonk in our here. And as you can see, they've made good use of it all. Actually, I'm curious, what if they used the other planks on? 5 for this, 6 for this. I do believe there was a stair down the bottom they hadn't built, which they still haven't built, or put any planks into. He's built these. Fair dinkum, beavers. Fair bloody dinkum. I guess we may as well top up the planks while we're here, you know. Oh, and our beaver population over here is running along. Nouts a matter. Look at all of those bonus builders in there. Thanks to our half-built fancy pants housing estate. Ooh, get some more planks out of ye. One thing we can do is down here. Gone through these sluices. All the way through the tunnel. And yes, we're taking shortcuts. I'm not going to be going all the way through the tunnel now, am I? I need to get to here and delete these bloody levees. Where's the water? Oh, there's the water! The water's on its way! Woohoo! I wasn't expecting to get jump scared by water in Timberborn this episode. But let's follow it down, or get chased by it is probably a more accurate representation of words to use, MiGly. Especially when you get speed 3 on the gun and it splits off to the right and left and starts coming out the sluices and gets blocked by our lovely little levees down the back of the map here. And it should not overspill because the sluices will stop before it overspills. Alright, we need to tune the sluices a wee bit. Alright, they're closed, but there's still water coming out. What's going on? They're getting changed to 0.75 regardless. Is this a visual thing or is there actually still water coming out of here? They're both still closed and it looks like it might have been a visual thing. Yes, the water is ceasing to come out of there. But it's also not particularly gone out of the map very quickly either. So yeah, now we need to ensure that we fine-tune these sluices down here. Rather important, so we don't end up with massive flooding in our wonderful green district down here. A district that we are christening the Carrot Corner. And for some reason, we already have a beaver in here, being the one and only resident of the Carrot Corner. Now we need to change that, pal. You need to get yourself back to the Tatty Pit. V2. We still don't even have any bloody water storage up here yet. We need to sort that out first. I mean, we haven't even built your fancy little rooftop terrace houses overlooking your new district. Don't even think I forgot about a fancy campsite for ye fancy beavers. Accessed with a fancy spiral staircase. Only the best for a Carrot Corner, you know. You know what I reckon could be a fun little speedy up bit? This year, you get to see the water whooshing out the tunnel and the windy hills spin about there. Maybe not spin about. You know how the windy hill is. And the tide has finally changed and I can go ahead and stop wiggling me massive cursor. Another 16 deer? Proper easy peasy. We might finally be able to get this filled up. Maybe during the next temperate season. It's proven to be a toughie. I tell you what, 3 droughts in a row. I'm pretty darn happy with that. Especially considering with, ooh, we got the scaffolding in. But we do not have this big old dirt excavator in just yet. And we've got a couple of gears before we get there. We've got the beavers banging away, getting the windmill and all of the connecting powers up to there. So it's all ready to go when it's, well, ready to go. You know what? For these 16 and a bit days, why don't we have ourselves a proper mad spin around speedy up bit? I will say I don't quite know why I'm speeding through all of these droughts. We do still do things. I suppose we've just got a hell of a lot to get done, didn't we? And I made some bold claims at the beginning of this episode, and gone on 3 hours later, oh, I haven't fulfilled any of them. So hopefully during this speedy up bit, or at the very least during the next temperate season, I can complete one of our episode goals. Don't have to complete them all, you know. One will do for me. We usually don't have episode goals, and if we do, we're never bloody sorting them out and doing them over. And the speedy spinny up bit is sorted, which means we stop spinning. And the big question is, do we have dirt getting mined? No, but is this the beaver about to hammer in the last blow? What? Oh, the amount of times we failed that in the last episode and we actually got it. That's why I do it, because sometimes it actually is the last beaver smashing in the last blow. We still need to get this laddie in though before I go deleting everything up here. But look, that's connected there. All the way down to here. Everything is connected. And we are slowly but surely drilling away at the dirt here. Hopefully, we can have enough up. So by the time we get a next bad tide round, we've plopped our little spit of land up. Rashi, you little Raji, how are ye doing? Ooh. Well, hello. I reckon if you're down here, then you must have already got up. All the way over here. Bro. Yeah, I didn't think of that when I connected this path up. This is all older high priority stuff. So it's just taken, well, priority. Well, you do. You in your big fancy hat can gan plant sparadox instead of coming all the way down here to plant logs in there. And for what will be the final time this episode, because we're all the way on cycle 22, we'll get to fill this reservoir up. But the reason I'm so confident that it's going to be the final time is if we have a little squiz hour here, we've got beavers planted all the carrots and a couple of trees. So I think it's about time to stop having beavers from the Tatty Pit V2 come all the way over here just to graft. Cut off the all-important Tatty Pit V2 connection and replace it with the carrot corner connection. And up here, I reckon we're going to easily need 10 beavers. Oh, well, I didn't think of that. Well, beavers haven't even got the treated planks in the fancy stairs yet. Well, I suppose your beavers are at least housed. They just get to have a look at the rooftop terraces that they can't access. As well as, because, I was going to say for some reason, but because these are fancy beavers, we put a spiral staircase here as well. I wonder in that case then, do we actually cop a district crossing? It's only 600 science points. We can certainly afford it. And it will help get those precious resources from one side to the other. And I was thinking for now, beavers, why don't you build yourself a couple of small tanks so you can at least store some water over here. Although if I'm saying this right, we've got beavers with bags of dirt getting into plopping in our big old tank overhang here. Or at the very least, popping in a contemplation spot for our wee babbies that are freshly born over the carrot corner to contemplate life at. Ooh, and we've got all of the TNT in here. Let's quickly press detonate, turn the hood off, and enjoy it all blowing up. Right on this side, creating room for even more fancy pants hooses round here. Now, since we've got 5 injured beavers and 2 medical beds, I think it might be worth plonking in a fancy pants curved staircase here, and then creating a nice little rest and relaxation area under the path. And I will say, our temporary grill top pillars here are absolutely living their best beaver lives. Our Tatty Pit V2ers are just big chillin', expanding their fancy hoosing estates. That's right, hoosing estates with an S. It's all official. When you get the fancy overhangs, it becomes a full-blown estate. We even got the dirt cannon, slowly but surely digging our way down. Now will we crack into this bit of bad water? Or any bad water beneath it? And potentially even more important than that, will our carrot cornerers over here actually get to getting onto their rooftop terraces that they can see but can't access? But to find out if our big carrot corner's going to get those rooftop terraces in or not, you're going to have to check back in the next episode! Well, I was completely happy to end on a fabricated cliffhanger because I doubt you actually care that much if they get the access to the rooftop terrace in the next episode or not. But you know, we're flooded back here! Why? We were fine all episode! And you know, that is truly going to be our cliffhanger for this episode. So let me say, I hope you enjoyed episode 10 of Under Pressure, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Toodle.